with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker. Up on TSN 4, up on YouTube Live. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan.
Going on today.
How are we feeling this afternoon?
Saw a great tweet today by our dear friend in Montreal, Tony Marinaro.
Oh, yeah?
He said, "Where's all the media that said Mitch Marner was the problem?" He said, "Where are you?" And then somebody copied a tweet and posted it up during one of the playoff series, and it was Tony that said, "Mitch Marner, where are you right now?" So don't.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Yeah. So watch it, Tony. You were on board too.
I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, Vegas made it to the Cup final last night.
Yeah.
Was it not the team that made it, or was it only Mitch Marner that made the Cup final last night?
Both of them did. And both of them should be happy with how well they played. They were awesome. That was clinical last night.
Yes.
Colorado had no answer for them. And Nate McKinnon grew frustrated and more frustrated. Makar was trying to play 29 minutes last night, I believe, close to it. But that was unbelievable by Vegas. And Blackwood was awesome.
Played fine.
Played fine.
Yep.
Carter
Wasn't
Hart
his
was
problem.
great too, but you're right. It's Vegas, it's Mitch Marner, it's all of them. But that team, the first thing I thought about when they won, I know you guys will say different. I thought they came from a pillow fight division.
Well, yes. I mean,
team that they had 39 wins this year.
That's the amazing thing. Someone, there's a lot of tweets out there, but someone tweeted out that the Capitals had 43 wins, did make the playoffs. The Islanders, 43 wins, did make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Devils, 42. Red Wings, 41. Blue Jackets, 40. Panthers, 40. San Jose, 39. Vegas had 39. They're in a Cup final.
But I will say this, and I don't know how you feel. This speaks to make the playoffs, be healthy as you can, and get on a roll. That's what the league's all about right now. And Vegas is a better team than 39 wins.
Absolutely.
They didn't have.
They never got it together.
They never got it going. They fired the coach with 8 games left, and that's why Kelly McCrimmon came on this show and said we needed something to wake our group up. They woke
They're
up,
awake now,
and they look great, including Mitch Marner, and good for him. I don't know where people are at.
So
I'm happy for them.
Jamie.
Yep.
You said you got to get into the playoffs, but the note that Hayes just read with the teams having more wins, does it also signify that they should possibly look into a play-in where those teams that he mentioned could possibly play in and cause some hell in the playoffs?
Well,
I don't know. That's something that you would, but it's just wasting your breath even bringing it up because Jerry is going to say, not happening.
I know,
not
but
happening.
I'll say this, and the only counter they'll have for that is 2 years ago, Calgary Flames missed with 96 points. So the year before, it was the West that had some strong teams that missed. This year, it was the East. So it might be back to the West next year. Who knows? But all I'm saying is that with the parity in the league, star players show up and be healthy at the right time. You get goaltending, you get everything. This team's in a Stanley Cup final, and they look like a wagon.
Yes.
They are awesome.
I mean, they just dismantled Colorado. And Colorado was the best team in the league all year.
Hands down.
They were the heaviest favorite you could have coming into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought them beating Minnesota, that's their Cup final. And they dismantled Minnesota.
Yes.
Like, they beat up on Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then they get into, a bit of a brawl here. And Vegas played, to your point, a perfect playoff series in terms of just clocking everything up, defending incredibly well. They were clutch when they had to. They had a come-from-behind win, which was really impressive. Their goaltender was great. There was a lot that went into it. And what has been emphasized here is Bill Foley, the owner down there, George McPhee, Kelly McCrimmon, the three of them have created a culture or created a business platform and blueprint that is the most successful in the league.
Yeah.
And they blow through coaches, they turn rosters over, but what they represent is winning. They represent a ruthless attitude towards making sure that they're competitive. And that's really what Marner jumped on. Like Mitch, again, everyone's doing the thing where it's like, why didn't it work here? And, a lot of it is, again, I'm almost fascinated. I shouldn't be surprised. But I know it's a story here in Toronto. Of course it is.
Sure.
And I'm not overly surprised that it's a story throughout the country, including in Montreal and Ottawa, because the Leafs are this massive organism that creates they just churn out content, and people either love them or hate them, and everyone's got a comment on it.
Right.
It's a pastime in the country. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
There's hockey, and then there's the Leafs, and people responding to it one way or the other. So I'm not overly surprised. But the amount of it coming out of the States, where it's all Marner all the time. Like, what about this? Mitch Marner's going, like, I saw ESPN on their Instagram account, not posting like Vegas is going, Mitch Marner's going,
Yeah.
right? Not Carter Hart's going, right? And let me guess, I'm going to go out on a limb here. If Carolina goes to a Cup final, I don't think you're going to see Nick Ehlers is going to a Cup final. How do people in Winnipeg feel about that?
Yeah, no, that's
pretty
fair.
sure it's not going to happen. And again, I get it. I understand it. Like, we live in it. We churn our own content out. We're a part of this massive organism. But it's what Mitch did was make a decision for his career that turned out to be a brilliant one. It's not over yet. And we'll get to his comment in a moment, which I'm a little bit surprised by because it is premature. They still got to get 4 more wins.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it today. Like, when Tavares came here, John came here because of the players.
Right.
Like, that he came here because Austin was here and Mitch and Willie were here. And I think he looked at it. It was his hometown, too. And that was a big part of it.
Hey,
but he looked at the players.
Yeah, it looked good.
I don't think he looked at the management. I don't think he looked at the ownership. I don't think he considered, like, the greater Maple Leaf sports and entertainment engine and what it's represented in the past and now what it continues to represent today. Where Marner, I'm not sure he went there because Eichel was there and Stone and Theodore necessarily. I think he went there because Bill Foley's the owner and George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon are going to give him an opportunity to win. And that's the difference. And he made a brilliant choice. Well, and, like, he didn't haggle. He just said, give me the Rantanen deal, 8 years, $12 million, I'm done. It wasn't about every penny. It wasn't about every dollar. It was when he was in Toronto. It wasn't when he went to Vegas because of the way they operate.
Well,
and they said, trust us, and we'll put you in a good position to win. And in year one, they can check that box. They're in a Cup final.
And there were times halfway through this season you're going, man, it doesn't look good.
No.
It's been a winding road for that organization. Even Mitch this year just adjusting to playing in the West, different organization, different players. But the one thing, I was asked last night, and I do believe this is why the guys play. Mitch Marner has grown as a player, too. This guy's played in the Four Nations face-off and was very good there. Very good.
And very good at the Olympics,
and
too.
very good at the Olympics.
Yep.
We've seen him on big stages now perform. He gets an opportunity. So he's a different player than he was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But I know, listen, he's coming from a scenario here in Toronto where he didn't have success. So I think that's what
and it doesn't change
about.
Based on what happened last night.
No.
Again, that's what you're pointing to the troll
Thank
tweets
you very
today.
much, Brian. Like,
yes.
yes, like for people that think that he was so awesome here with the Leafs in the playoffs and we're just like overlooking it, please give your head a shake and go back and watch the games. Like, we've said it on this program a million times. All we have is what's in front of us and how they play and how it looks, and it wasn't good. Same with the rest of the team. It's not like he was some superstar in the playoffs and it was like, man, other than Mitch, everybody was terrible. They were all terrible in critical times. They couldn't get it done. They didn't get it done. And it was maybe the team wasn't as deep. It clearly wasn't. But that's what happened. It's not like it disappeared and never happened in Toronto. I get so tired of reading that nonsense. Like we're a bunch of dummies for saying he played poorly. It's just not the case. It's not the case.
And it wasn't a premature ending either. Would it have been great if they all stayed and they all won? Of course. That would have been amazing. Everyone was a activist for that. I was leading the charge on that. It'd be an amazing scenario. I said it 7-8 years ago. These guys, there's a fork in the road. They're either going to be the most celebrated, beloved, core in the history of the team, in the history of the city, or they're going to go down as the most disappointing. Unfortunately, right now, Marner's story's done. He can't change it. If you're Austin and Willie, you still can.
Yeah.
There's ebbs and flows, right? They still have that opportunity to completely flip it and say, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to win here, and we're going to let the rest of the world, bask in that. But, I was going through it today because it will be studied. It will be studied that the Leafs, the players here, right? You talk about ownership, management, coaching. Everyone's got a responsibility for everything that happens over the course of a season and throughout a playoff run. But they had a do-or-die game in 2018, 2 of them in 2019. They were up 3-2 in that series against Boston. Yeah. That Game 5 against Columbus in the bubble in 20. 3 closeout games against Montreal in 21.
Yes.
Game 7 against Tampa in 22. Game 7 against Boston in 24. Game 7 against Florida in 25. Yeah. And they lost every single one. They lost every single one. Now,
yes, thank you.
It's
Hayes,
astonishing.
do me a favor. Just go. No. Read that again. Just all of those, please.
Yes. And this is off the top of my head, by the way, because I've lived it, and it's just 18 against Boston, Game 7, they lost. Game 6 and 7 in 2019 because they were up 3-2 in that series. They lost Game 6 on Easter Sunday at home. They were up 1-0. Morgan Riley scored in the first period. They lost. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they lost 3-0 in Game 7, I believe. That was the end of the Babcock era, effectively. Game 5 against Columbus, they got skunked. They lost 3-0. After that great comeback in Game 4, they were up 3-1 against the Habs. So they lost Game 5, 6, and 7. They lost Game 7 at home in 22 against Tampa. Then they won Game 6 in 23.
Yes.
Right? Not a Game 7. They won Game 6 down in Tampa.
Yeah.
And then in 24, they lost Game 7 against Boston, in Boston, Pasternak in overtime.
Yeah.
And then they beat Ottawa in Game 6 in 25, not Game 7.
Right.
And then they lost Game 7 against Florida in 25.
Right, listen.
So that is and maybe Marner has one great night and everything's different, or Matthews does. Or maybe they have what Carter Hart's given Vegas. It's also astonishing that Freddie and Campbell and Samsonov and, no one, Stolarz, whoever it is, none of them could just have a great game where they said, we're not giving up anything tonight.
It's funny you say that.
It's astonishing, but that's their history. That's what it was for 9 years.
I was asked today because Mitch Marner, they're talking about Marner being up for the Conn Smythe. Rightfully so.
Absolutely.
You know who should be right there? Carter Hart.
100%.
Because Carter Hart, I'll give you an example. Yesterday's game, Brock Nelson, breakaway early on. He scores. The game looks different because Colorado was pushing.
He's been the best goalie in the playoffs.
He's been the best goalie in the playoffs.
Dobish included, right there.
Dobish and Anderson, all of them. There's been great goaltending in the playoffs.
Yes.
Really, there has. But that's the difference. You look at some of these coaches, you get a save at the right time. This is a big save. Carter Hart, the big save at the right time. And managers tell me this all the time. Coaches say that. You want to show me a great coach, show me a goaltender that gives you that type of goaltending. And you're right, it could have been different with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right now, that Vegas team has a little bit of everything. They've got great goaltending. They've got big D that are mobile, that could move the puck. They've got depth
they're
right
playing
through in
great.
every position.
Yeah, they're playing great.
Heavy. Thomas Hertl, a little bit of a greasy play there, but that's fine. They got bite. And Colorado had no answer. So Mitch Marner has settled into that, and it took him a while, but he looks like the Mitch Marner.
And he's winning the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
Because the media will not allow themselves to vote for anyone but Mitch Marner. I make that pledge right now.
You think so? Okay,
he could have 0 points in the Cup final.
And they win?
He's winning the Conn Smythe.
Carter Hart could have 4 shutouts.
Because it'll be American media and it'll be non-Leaf Canadian media. They'll say, we're putting 93 down. So he can go out there and absolutely stuff it to Toronto.
Listen, if he wins this Stanley
that's what's
Cup,
coming.
It doesn't matter. But
it adds to, hey, listen, he's earned it up to here.
He's been
but
great.
I'm telling you, Mitch Marner's
him.
winning the Conn Smythe.
There is a layer
if they
to
win.
this. If they win.
Yeah.
Because I'm not convinced that whoever, if it's Carolina or
Montreal's in one, I think, if they get
but
to the
tonight's
Cup
the
final.
swing game.
Got it. Must win
But
tonight.
who would be the underdog? Let's just say if it's Carolina that makes it through.
Good question.
Because I think that would be a pick 'em. Oh, who do you think? Because Carolina is no joke, and neither is Montreal.
Who would have home ice? Carolina.
I think I think Carolina would. I think it would be a pick 'em. But the question I have for you guys is, Who do you think Vegas wants to win the series? Do you think they want Montreal to win the series?
Yes.
Who would you think the players, if they were drinking a beer at a restaurant watching, you think they would want Montreal to win?
Montreal.
Here's why I would think Carolina, but I was wrong on the Ottawa thing. I look at Vegas and their separating skill. If you were doing a draft between Carolina and Vegas, probably the first 4 or 5 picks would be Vegas players, would it not? You'd pick in no particular order: Marner, Eichel. Give me somebody else.
Well, Stone, a healthy Stone.
Theodore.
Slavin's got to be higher.
Okay.
I would take Slavin over Theodore personally.
And Hart and Anderson are coin flip.
Yeah.
But I'm
I hear you.
I think there is some more,
Svechnikov.
I think there's some separating skill on Vegas. Whereas if you did that draft with Montreal's got serious separating skill too.
Different story.
Yeah.
And must win Montreal.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip from Mitch after the game last night, where he was doing a scrum and, he spoke about he was elated last night like he should be. He's going to a cup final.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and they dismantled the cup favorites.
Yeah.
On home ice. And now you get to put your feet up. It's just an incredible scene for Vegas. But here's what Marner had to say about the significance of that win last night.
Yeah, it was a special moment. Like I was saying to Sean, I mean, there's been some dark times in hockey for myself, honestly. Thankful for my family, my brother, my mom and dad, my wife, all my friends around me. So, that was a moment just to express, some joy and some, some fun there. And I'll enjoy it for the night and then, be ready to go to work.
All right. So he's referencing Sean McKenzie, and the McKenzie family are putting on a clinic right now. Can we point that out? An absolute.
The McKenzie family is having a good week.
They might be the royal family in Canadian hockey right now, the McKenzie family.
I like that Mitch gave.
They certainly are.
Gave the people around him that have been through thick and thin, because I'm sure they wore it just as much as he did. The stress, the ups and downs, all of that. So,
what do you think he's referencing? The dark times in hockey.
About himself not having success, isn't that like it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
I think the Olympics can be included in that
for
too.
Sure,
that would have been crushing at the Olympics.
But I think that as much as we pointed out, we're on the outside in the media and fans. You don't think these guys are ultra competitive? You don't think Mitch Marner wanted to win those games that you just laid out? Like, that's the one thing that's kind of lost in all of this. It's not like the guy wasn't trying. It just they didn't have the success. So I think, a guy who knows how important it was to the city of Toronto, grew up here, he probably wore it a lot more than somebody who didn't. And a guy like Willie or Austin who, would leave. Mitch lives here. He wears it. So I think it's a good time for him to bask in that. But you're right. The job's not done. They're going.
That's
to
the only thing. Like it's not over yet. And he did say, "Hey, listen, enjoy it tonight. Get back on the train tomorrow." And there's a lot of work to be done in front of him. But like dark time, I can't speak for him. It's his life. It's his experience. But dark time seems extreme a little bit when you were like dark times. Again, I've used the people have brought it to my attention, like the Buffalo analogy. Eichel and Buffalo. Those are dark times when you're 72 points every year, out of the playoffs at Christmas. Like, dark times in Toronto was because they couldn't get the job done in the biggest moments. Still got paid a fortune. Still incredibly fortunate that the team capitulated on the original contract to allow them to go to Vegas. If they actually put their stake in the ground and forced them to sign an 8-year deal, he'd have this year and next still on his deal. Go ahead.
What he's probably talking about is losing playoff series and people throwing stuff on his lawn, whatever, hanging out front of his house. I'm sure that's not exactly the best times. Yeah. So the losing that follows up with all that nonsense, I'm sure, is what he's talking about.
I hear you. I got you. Well, the Jays won this afternoon, and Vladdy returned. Couple of hits to start his game. He had a stolen base
last night too. That got away.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell the pitcher was doing. He just started beaning every Blue Jay player.
Got a little carried away last night for the Marlins. They may have had themselves a big night. But that's another series win for the Jays.
Yeah.
Right? That's all you're trying to do. They got a series win against Pitt.
Yeah.
A series win against Miami. And now they head to Baltimore here. So the Jays with a big win this afternoon. More on that later this afternoon. Darren Dreger coming up. Frankie Corrado. You guys are just, it's like a a kids camp out there in Kelowna.
I know.
I'm getting notes from people saying, "Hey, I saw the O-Dog. I saw Frankie. These guys, they got big plans this weekend."
O's become the next Bobby Mack. He's whining and dining, not whining and dining, but talking to everybody. Craig Button is the mayor of that city. O might be the associate mayor. He's
Pretty
running
close.
into people left and I'm getting notes saying saw
Mr.
Frankie.
Okanagan.
Yeah.
Mr. Okanagan Valley.
I don't want to make up stories, but I was heading to the bathroom and somebody put their arm on my shoulder, and I turned and it was Bobby Mack, and he said, "As far as junior hockey goes, it's your time now."
Wow.
And I just said, "Okay, Bobby,
Wow.
it's time to go." But I will say, what a treat driving the cart today, and me and Frankie were driving up. And it said on the cart, just out of the blue, it didn't say you're on the wrong part of the cart path. It said, "Is Hayes a fraud?" And Frankie tried to talk to me coming up behind me. And I stopped him and I said, "I have to click on yes.
Yeah.
I have to click on yes." So thanks to Wade at Okanagan Golf Club.
Your boy Wade, he's your best friend now.
My man.
Best
Well,
buddies.
tell Wade he can stuff it. I don't need any of that activity out there at an esteemed
No,
establishment
hang on.
like that.
Don't say that about Wade, because it was another guy. It was another guy in the front office that did that to the cart.
Okay.
Wade has more respect than that.
All right, shout out to Wade. I'm back
Love
in
it.
the back in
Love
the
it,
good
Wade.
books. I love Wade.
Good
Well, that's
stuff.
nice. It's not necessarily needed, or
No.
like we need to. We got to get back in the Snickers thing, and
Is that programmed in there? That's the thing. Like that's
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
programs that in.
I guess. Imagine every day showing up and you have to click yes to,
Yes
to
or no.
resume your round. Is Hayes a fraud every single time?
Well, it looks like. I mean that.
I want those boys out there at Okanagan to put that on every cart before the first tee, and you have to click yes before your cart to start.
Yeah.
Just have that every person after the putting green. You can't start your round until you click that button right there.
All right, I can get behind that. Advertisement. No such thing as bad press. Right? That's what they tell me anyway. Unless you're trying to kick
And
people or
Hazy,
stomp
I just
people.
want to ask you this.
Go ahead.
Wow, that was. By the way, when Frankie comes on, I'm not going to say anything to you or him. Ask him about the new tailor-made wedges around the green, the sauce that he's been seeing.
Okay.
Just ask him.
I
I'm
will.
not going to mention a word, and he'll tell you some stories.
Okay.
But we can ask Dregs when he comes on. But that kicking, that was goofy, man. You got to be thrown out of the game. I don't think he should play again. That was stupid.
Well, he is. He's
like
done.
it wasn't just once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't stomp on a guy 3 times. And I don't know, my understanding is they're not happy about showing it that much and this and that. What are we supposed to do? The guy kicked the guy's skate 3 times. Like, are you kidding me? Just a stupid incident. You're thrown out of the tournament. Your season's done because you made a dumb play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it. Sorry.
Jordan.
Like that's, you know how serious? You're putting a guy's career in your hands, man, when you're doing that garbage.
Yeah. Torini's, he's done. The CHL have kicked him out for the rest of the Memorial Cup. And your boy, the head coach in Kitchener, I was going to say in Finland, he's Finnish. He went after him after the game, and I think it was very pointed and very accurate. Someone sent me a DM on Instagram today. I guess he lives in Helsinki or something, and he said after you pumped his tires yesterday, it was in the paper over in Finland. So someone's over in Finland watching, maybe on Crave,
They do.
saying, "Oh, that's interesting what the O-Dog
You
said."
got to
We're
be
gonna-
careful with because sometimes I got quoted in Finland
Yes.
in the playoffs. Well, no, was
Right.
it? No, in the Olympics.
The Olympics
because I
and
said,
the rats or something
I
like
said,
that.
with all due respect, and I said it in a
They're
good
rats.
way, that the Finnish team, Olympic team, they'll get under your skin. They can play like rats. And Mika Kiprasov sent me the article and said, so we're rats, eh? And then remember, I had to talk to Teemu Solani about it.
Yeah, Timu was bent out of shape.
You know, he was fine with it because if you read the article, it said, I said it in a good way. Like they'll
Yeah,
get
it's a
underneath your
compliment.
skin.
Yeah.
The headline didn't do me any justice.
No, but we're pumping Jussi Ahokas. That's the head coach. For starters, he's got the best hair beard game
Oh, yeah.
in
Glorious.
sports right now. Dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You want to talk about an outside-the-box bar playlist? If that guy goes to Helsinki after winning the Memorial Cup, watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is as dialed in as it gets.
Yeah.
The hair and the beard game on that cat, it's electric. Put that in the paper over there.
Whoa.
Put that in the paper.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's a big one. Kitchener remains undefeated, so they're in a very, very good place.
Yep.
Big game tonight. The two WHL teams are playing. So Frankie Corrado coming up in about an hour. Frankie, of course, with the call tonight on TSN. Gavin McKenna is going to be joining the crew tonight. He was going to join us, but I guess now the plan is there was a scheduling issue.
Yeah,
he's going to join Laura, yourself, Craig. So he's going to be on TSN tonight. Gavin McKenna coming up on TSN tonight. So we look forward to that. And Dreg's coming up. He's out there as well. So we got a couple of guys around the studio. We've got a big game tonight, Game 4 at the Bell Center. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander put on a clinic last night. That was a great performance by Shea. Got to the line 17 times, and he went 16 for 17 from the line, which is incredible performance, incredible efficiency. And now they're up 3-2 in that series, looking to close. And the Knicks are sitting there waiting, and I guess it sounds like Trump's going to go to the Garden for one of those games, which is just going to be
That'll be
crazy.
That'll be bedlam.
NBA Finals with him at the Garden is just going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Dreg's coming up. Frankie coming up. I've got a list here. I'm going to put a little positive spin out there for Leaf fans.
Good.
Right? Because I know Leaf fans are like kind of feeling it right now. A lot of negativity around. I'm going to put a little positive spin on things. Okay, I got 5 things, 5 reasons to be positive.
Let's have it.
Okay, we might sneak in a few role plays as well later this afternoon. Overdrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Sidney Crosby back in front, so many scores! Tomorrow on TSN 1050, the IIHF World Hockey Championship continues as Canada takes on the U.S. in the quarterfinals. Who's back in front, they score! John Tavares! Coverage starts at 10 a.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. Engage in this game now. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan, and there's Darren Dreger, our TSN Hockey Insider. Dregs, are you at a kids' camp out there like Frankie and O? Are you enjoying yourself? It seems like you guys are having a blast in Kelowna.
Yeah, well, some of us have to try and hold the network together during the day. Now, granted, there's a handoff that happens here for Overdrive, and then ultimately part of the coverage in the game at the Memorial Cup.
Darren, let me just be clear about something.
Yeah.
We tee off at 6 a.m. because the courses out here actually understand that you can only golf in this country for 4 months. So away you go at 6 a.m. and we're home by 9 because I got to be over here by 1 o'clock. It's not like it's some festival all day, you donkey Hayes.
Right.
Like, what do you think's going on?
But I sent Brian a video, by the way, and what he's referring to is the parasailing that you did after golf.
The parasailing.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. Your shorts were a little snug, but I mean, other than that, it was
I
good.
saw that video, and I know it's you, just like you at the pool. This guy's doing everything out there.
Well, and then at
the kids'
night,
playground.
he's hanging in there, though. I watched last night, like, there was no Pete Rose. We're actually thinking by Friday night you might be Pete Rose on the panel, passed out.
Semifinal. But so far, so good.
You've looked great.
So far, so good. So far, so good. Well, Dregs, when you look at what happened last night, if you're Colorado, like how much change would you expect? You know, they had a magical season, but they just got swept in the 3rd round. How different could the whole operation look in Colorado by next year?
Well, it's a challenge to be sure, and I guess it depends how much you're willing to invest into the speculation, certainly around the general manager's office, right, Chris McFarland. And I think given an opportunity, the Nashville Predators, as we talked about and others have reported on, would like to take a swing at McFarland. And I think there are probably Avalanche fans, fellows, who are sitting there going, wait a minute, like, how does that compute? But it's not inconceivable. So for me, that's the area of watch that I'm most interested in. And I think that the coach speculation as to whether or not Jared Bednar should be let go is a bit extreme when you look at the resume and the history of Jared Bednar as head coach of the Colorado Avalanche. And I feel like that's more emotionally charged. But in saying all of that, Brian, I do think that given that the Avs are obviously a top Stanley Cup contender and they just got swept by a machine in the Vegas Golden Knights, those sort of internal conversations will likely take place.
Darren, I don't know if this is possible for this to happen, but in the fashion that Colorado went down, and I don't know if you've heard any rumblings on this being an insider, but it seems like something happened or something, or is this just hockey? Is this just hockey where they blew the doors off L.A., they dummied Minnie, and then all of a sudden they just met their match? Or it just seemed like, you know when you always say we're always talking about something's happened there, like it looks off? So it looks like something went down or something's off for it just to implode like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think collectively we had this conversation off air leading into the playoffs. And, you know, every year on the TSN playoff preview, we all have to prognosticate, right? You submit who you think is going to win the East, who's going to win the West, who's going to win the Stanley Cup. And collectively, there was just a hesitation around Colorado, which felt unfair at the point when you look at the season that they had. But where does that feeling come from? And then you fast forward to where we're at now. And again, the sweep at the hands of the Vegas Golden Knights. And yeah, I think you're right. Something is off, but that's going to ultimately be up to Joe Sakic and senior management to figure out what it is. I mean, Chris McFarland has his fingerprints all over this roster. They added significant depth at the trade deadline, again, to bolster their chances of contending for the Cup, and they failed. Part of it, of course, is injury-related. We know McKinnon wasn't healthy. At least last night, Cale Makar went through what he went through, but come on. I mean, every team to this point of the playoffs goes through injury issues. So I think that there does need to be a pretty big audit in terms of is it roster-related or is it something else?
So are we all guilty of this? And I'll ask Brian, and then you guys can weigh in, too, because I felt myself last night looking at that Colorado roster going, you know, with McKinnon and Makar, you know, severely look damaged. They look damaged. And then I'm going, geez, Nazem Kadri looks like the Calgary Flame, you know, a little older. Brent Burns looked 45. The Kulak, he scored the series clinching goal, but hadn't scored as a Colorado Avalanche. Now you start to pick apart their roster and go, geez, this Nelson didn't do anything. Net just disappeared like he did in Carolina. Do you start to get a little bit negative? Where a week ago we were like, this team, you're not going to beat them 4 times in a row anytime they're winning the Stanley Cup. Like, are we guilty of that just from an emotional standpoint or not?
I don't know if it's guilt. I think that to me seems fair. I mean, I think it's a legitimate question. Was this like the best opportunity the McKinnon-Makar kind of duo in their prime are going to have at a Stanley Cup? Like now, like they've won one. You never take that away from them. But it's a lot like quarterbacks in the NFL. Drew Brees only won one. Aaron Rodgers only won one. Where you look at them and you see the talent and you assume, oh, they're going to win 2, 3, 4.
Right.
I don't know. Dregs, you can jump in on that. But I think, it's McKinnon, Makar, and then now they're the oldest roster in the league. And they don't have picks. They don't have prospects. They got a lot of work to do here.
I would agree with that, but again, I'm wondering about why are we targeting Chris McFarland in terms of the speculation that links him leaving the organization. You know, Jared Bednar probably becomes the most sought-after coach if he's cut loose with a year remaining on his contract. So I think that's what ownership and senior management has to come to terms with. Before you allow other teams to express interest in your general manager, don't you have to believe that it's an off-ice issue and it's not an on-ice issue? Look at that roster. If that roster is flawed, who's better prepared or ready to address those issues than the existing group? So I'm open for anything when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche. What I'm not open for is an overhaul, because I think at that point it gets unnecessary.
Darren, Mitch made some comments last night after the victory talking about some dark times. Do you think that's just referring to the losses, or the losses and people hanging out front of his house and all the garbage? Is it media comments? Like, how do you translate those comments from Mitch because it seemed like such a big moment, and he kind of made the point. Like, is it Olympic losses? Just how do you relate dark times in hockey?
I think it's all of the above. I don't think it can be any one thing. I mean, of course, he wanted to win with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He wanted to be a main player and contributing and helping the Toronto Maple Leafs go much deeper than they did internationally, all of that kind of stuff. You know, the one thing, and you guys as players can appreciate this, and it's harder now than it's ever been. You know, the players can say, look, we don't read social media. We don't pay attention to what's being said on radio or what's being talked about on television. But you know what? They do. And their families do, especially in a market the size of Toronto. So then when it gets even more personal and closer to your own home as now a young dad, and stuff is happening around your house where you have to have a security detail, police out front to make sure that, you know, your own domicile is safe. I mean, that cuts in a completely different direction. So I don't think he's sitting there going, hey, see? This is the player that I am because he's having this success now. I think he just feels very fortunate to be surrounded by the group that he's surrounded by in Vegas and all the resources that he has to do what he can do as a superstar player.
How would you describe Brian Hayes' treatment of Mitch Marner during his tenure in Toronto, Darren?
Oh, interesting. I think it would be a case study, and I think that we'd have to do it independently. Each conversation, Brian, would need to be dissected because no different, I feel, than any other Toronto Maple Leaf player. Brian rides the highs and the lows. Yeah. So I know that Brian has been very supportive historically of the greatness of Mitch Marner when he was great at times with the Maple Leafs. Same with Matthews, go down the list.
That's right.
But perhaps a little bit too critical at times as well.
Okay. Well,
yes.
Listen, that is the show. I mean,
very well said.
I think that's accurate. I'm not going to even deny it. I mean, I think I'm fair, but you know, you come on here and, I was his biggest booster. I was his biggest fan. And I had literally someone very close to him say, thank you for everything you've said about Mitch Marner.
Really?
And and that was a while ago. We don't have to get into details. I'll write the book someday.
Once too.
I'll write the book someday. But then, you know, when you play the way you play in the biggest moments and it doesn't go your way, then that's the way it works in Toronto, man. It's a big mark. And the thing is about Toronto, is it hysterical at times? Is it absolutely? Is that ever going to change? No, it's not.
No.
It's never going to change. Toronto is Toronto. There's no changing it. How about John Tortorella? Does this guarantee he's their coach next year, or where do things stand now with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I want to say yes.
Why not a month-by-month contract? It's almost like that's what he needs.
Yeah. The reason I even hesitate, because, look, you know, based on the timing of when he came in and the success of the Vegas Golden Knights, obviously continue to enjoy going into the Stanley Cup final, you could build a pretty solid case that he deserves at least another year as head coach of Vegas. The reason I hesitate in endorsing John Tortorella is because I know what they have in Ryan Craig, who's their American League coach, right? And this guy left the National Hockey League to get legit head coaching experience in the AHL. Is he willing to sit back for another year and continue to coach in Henderson, or Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee feel that he is ready to jump in and take over that NHL bench? So it's a bit double-edged for me in terms of Craig's readiness versus John Tortorella certainly earning another job, be it in Vegas or somewhere else.
So I'm going to just throw this out there as well. Thinking last night, so Colorado, juggernaut, unbelievable, dominated the whole regular season, all of that. I mean, we all thought they were just going to win the Stanley Cup. You know who did that not that long ago? The Tampa Bay Lightning. And in the first round, it was John Tortorella's Columbus Blue Jackets.
That's right.
That frustrated the hell out of that Tampa team to the point where Kucherov, I believe, got suspended.
Yes, he did for Game 4.
And Tampa, they didn't have an answer for it. I'm watching that last night going, it was almost a carbon copy of how frustrating that Vegas team was to Colorado.
You know what would be incredible is if John Tortorella gets the job in Toronto after this. Wins a cup, gets booted from Vegas, and Chaika
Would you
sweeps
welcome
in.
him?
I don't know.
I would.
I don't know if this team's prepared for that.
But
I don't know if they're
I would. I think he's... I think he's changed. I think he has a reputation, but I think he's
done a great job so far in Vegas.
The way that his tactics are.
Great job.
We may not love some of the things.
Even comments. The heroics after the game. Leave Bednar alone. Like, what are you, the president of the Coaches Association? Wow. Like, he always does that when he beats somebody.
Yes.
Right? He beats a coach and goes, that guy's a great coach.
Well,
he did a great job.
Babcock, I believe, didn't he?
Oh, Sheldon Keefe. He was Sheldon Keefe's biggest fan. How dare you? How dare you criticize Sheldon?
But I'm saying that John Tortorella is a hell of a coach.
Yes,
but,
he is.
It might be month to month because they might go, hey,
yes,
just coach this team as long as you want and move on.
Okay, let me throw this out. Game 4 tonight at the Bell Center. Taking Dobish out of this. Oh, you can answer first, then Dregs. Because Dobish goes without saying. Who is the most important Montreal Canadian tonight?
Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki, and I'm gonna do a 1A and 1B if you let me.
Go ahead.
Lane Hudson is 1B because he needs a response from that little. And I hate the way he's like. I get it. He's hard on himself and he's accountable. But I hate when he says stuff like, "We're going to this game and we lost the last one because of me." It wasn't because of you. You made a blunder. You make way more positive plays. I hate when he says that stuff.
Yeah.
But at least the guy's accountable. I just don't like when he talks like that. But I'm going to go Nick Suzuki 1A, Lane Hudson 1B. Darren?
Yeah, no, I agree with that assessment. I wonder if that's inexperience, though, from Lane Hudson. It's accountability. There's no doubt about that.
But he's one of those kids, Dregs, he's not like – he doesn't show inexperience because he's a superstar already. He's got to know better than that and cut it out and just say, I'm going to be better next game.
Well, but we heard the same thing from Dobish after Game 2, right, when he let in what he deemed to be a softie to end that hockey game. Most important for me, just given the way that the Montreal Canadiens can play, is Josh Anderson. I mean, he's had one big game in this series, but he has the ability physically as a power forward to just find a way to penetrate through that Carolina defense and get to Freddie Anderson. So for me, he's up there at the top of the list.
I'm going to go Slavkovsky for me, because it's that top line has to be a difference maker. Like we always talk about, hey, if Alex Newhook's going to give you a big goal here or there, it's a great storyline. Star players, your big players, the guys who get paid a lot of money or are on your marquee. Yeah, so O says Suzuki. I'm going to go on the other side, Slavkovsky. You need that top line. They need to, first and foremost, to get more than 13 shots on goal. They need to find a way to get to Freddie Anderson. And if you could put 35 shots on Freddie Anderson, I think Montreal looks a lot different, and they might win tonight.
I don't see 35 shots against this Carolina team, the way they've been playing and the way the Habs have been playing. Honestly, the answer might be Freddie Anderson needs to be the best Montreal Canadian tonight. What I mean by that is just give up a muffin or two early and let them kind of get into the game and get that crowd going.
Montreal needs a lead. They haven't played with a
exactly.
lead since
That's what I'm
game
saying.
one.
You've got to get a lead, and you've got to. They don't. They're 2-5 at the Bell Center throughout the playoffs too. They're just not. They don't perform that well. All right, boys. Dregs, good stuff. Thank you for doing this as always.
You bet, guys. Thank you.
There he is, Darren Dreger, a TSN Hockey Insider. I think it was Claude Lemieux brought the torch out the other night, and I'm curious. Who's coming out tonight?
I think they're running out of people. Like, that's the thing.
Because here's the thing that this is how it was explained to me, and I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think it speaks to their history and the way that they operate. You have to have won the Stanley Cup to do that.
Okay.
So, Carey Price can't do it.
So Koivu can't do it.
Koivu can't do it. Gianta can't come out. Weber can't come out. Like, you had to have been 93, 86, any of the other teams in the 70s.
So Eric Desjardins going to come rolling.
That would be a big one. Sure. That would be a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, the ultimate mic drop would be if Patrick Waugh ever did it. Like, that would, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, he's not doing that.
I don't think.
Get him tonight. Get him. They need him tonight. Get Patrick Waugh out there.
I thought about this. Would Patrick Waugh be interviewed for Toronto?
I don't know. He seems. Do you think Chaika wants to deal with a personality like that? That's what I'm curious about. Like, Chaika, he's got to find his footing here, and to have a larger than life personality behind the bench, maybe it would be a good balance. Maybe, but I doubt it. All right, Frankie coming up into the next hour. Best bet still to come. The Jays with another series win. They got to win this afternoon. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Frankie Corrado will join us around the table at the Memorial Cup. Kelowna versus Everett tonight. And Kitchener's in a really good place. We got game 4 of the Eastern final tonight. The Knicks are home free, so no basketball tonight for the first time in a while. That's a big win for Oklahoma City last night. They're up 3-2 heading back to San Antonio. And the Jays with a big win today. And all of a sudden, they're starting to win some series here.
3 games under 500 or 2 now?
Yeah, that's a good question, Noodles. They're right around there.
Yeah, they're right there. But it's, you're close to a wild card spot, and you're trying to.
Yeah, 2 games under. 2 games under 500.
Yeah, so there you are.
Yeah, they're a half game out of a wild card spot. Like, that's a pillow fight. It's a pillow fight in the American League right now.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the Pacific in the NHL.
Yep.
But, Okamoto hit a home run. He had been kind of struggling a little bit. That's big. Vladdy's back, so they dodged a bullet on that front. Lucas is back and hitting. That's big. Yeah. Kirk's around the corner. Barger, we'll see.
Yeah,
Hazy. Like, I would consider it a positive, guys. It feels like their record is 15. Like, it feels like the way they played, don't you get the sense that it almost gets the feel of 10 to 15 games under 500?
Yes.
Yeah. So to hear you guys say 2, it's almost like a positive.
It's very true. Like when we were out with Ernie Clement, which is such an arrogant, it sounds like, but we were hanging out with Ernie Clement, right? The Lincoln Cup's coming up soon.
Yep.
Couple of weeks, you can see who won. Team Hayes versus Team O-Dog.
You and Ernie, you and your buddy.
Me and my boy Big Ern McCracken. And he was like, hey, we got 120 games left. We're gonna be okay. Like, very confident. Very confident. He's like, yeah, we've had, it hasn't been great. Some injuries, a lot of unlucky plays. Sometimes it's just not breaking your way. We're going to be okay. Like, I get the impression like that clubhouse has got confidence.
They believe.
So,
that's what it is.
And look who they're chasing down right now. It's Minnesota. It's Chicago. The White Sox are off to a decent start. They're 500. It's okay. You'll be all right. Still got a lot of season left.
Yeah.
A lot of season. You just got to get healthy, stay around 500, and get hot down the stretch into August and September. If they do that, they can still salvage something here.
Yeah.
Hour 2 coming up. Frankie Corrado, I've got a list on 5 positive things for Leaf fans, all right? I'm going to try to spin that a little bit. Maybe a couple of role plays. We'll see what comes of it. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
This is Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles, McLennan, Frankie Corrado will join us later in the hour. Get to our best bets later in the hour. Game 4, Habs, Carolina tonight. Jays with a win this afternoon, so they end up winning another series against Miami. They won a series against Pittsburgh. They got a split against New York.
Yep.
They're starting to get it going. They're 2 games under 500, but like you said, with how it's kind of been feeling around the team with injuries and performances, you'd think they were 10, 12, 15 games under 500. So, not perfect, but you'll take it. Get some arms back, get some injured bats back into the lineup and get cooking here. And the Jays still have an opportunity to salvage things. Speaking of baseball, as we know, this is the last year of the current CBA.
Yeah.
So I guess it was reported on today that the Players Association, MLBPA, they put forth their first proposal.
Okay.
And now Major League Baseball has come back with a statement on that proposal. Okay, and it said, well, I'll read you a little bit.
Yes.
Right? And you guys are union members. You've been through work stoppages in the past. You tell me how you would interpret this. We appreciate the union making a set of proposals, and we look forward to continuing the bargaining process and working towards solving the competitive balance problem our fans are telling us needs to be addressed. We understand their proposals are designed to benefit players. Unfortunately, they do not address and, in fact, exacerbate the competitive balance problem our fans are telling us we must address. The PA's proposal would reduce the amount of transferred to lower revenue clubs, weaken the competitive balance tax, and lead to an even more payroll disparity than exists today. And then it continues. And
they go back at him just basically saying the rich will continue. And
yeah, that reads to me like we want a salary cap and your proposal doesn't have a salary cap. So thanks for coming out, but that's not going to work.
Well, can they afford a full work stoppage?
I don't know. You guys tell me. Could Gary
hockey,
and the boys back in 04,
hockey
05?
recovered. Yeah. We recovered. I mean, I was...
Guys, this is the way I look at this. These baseball players, and I wish us hockey players thought about it this way. When you look at the NHL under these salary cap so-called restrictions, Brian, do you not think the guys in the NHL are living a pretty good life? Do you not think guys that score 10 goals, making $6 million a year, live a good life? What is the sense of fighting and acting tough and acting like you're getting screwed if anything is different right now, where you could find some kind of happy medium and still have a great life playing baseball? Like, I don't know. I'm not pro anybody. I don't really care. I'm a hockey guy. I like watching baseball. We talk about baseball. But if you're going to be so stupid to say we're going to miss half a season, we're going to miss a full season, that the owners don't care. Figure out something where you can have a great life and everybody's going to be happy, because there is some kind of happy medium. If you want to put a stake in the ground and just say that's not happening moving forward, what's the sense of losing all that money? Hockey players lost. We all lost $1 billion for sitting out. And then we said, yeah, let's take a salary cap. How stupid is that?
Well, I think, listen, you lived it. You guys have your lived experience.
I was part of 3.
Yeah.
I was 91. I think I told you this. In 1991, I was with the Islanders. We were playing the Toronto Maple Leafs the next day. I was supposed to get my first start. And we went on strike. The players striked in 91. Mm-hmm. 94, there was a half a season lockout. And then what was it, 05 or whatever it was?
05, yeah.
We lost a full season. Mm-hmm. I was part of 3 work stoppages as a player. And you never get that time back. That's the one thing. There's enough money to go around. I think there's enough smart people in these leagues to figure it out.
Yes.
Without the carnage. But, and ultimately, think about the fan. The fan pays the price because they miss those games.
They don't care about the fans, though. In the moment. I'm not saying that like in general. It's a business. It's their lives.
In hindsight, if I had known that we were going to settle on a salary cap, we wouldn't have missed a full season.
Of course.
We would have said, let's get the highest percentage of the cap that we can. And it ended up 50-50, whatever it is. The point being is, to get to that, we missed a full season. Mm-hmm. Lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money, but we lost a career of our livelihood.
That's what's crazy. Like, that's just a year in the record books.
Right.
Like, that just, it's gone. You know, for so many players. And, you know, ultimately what happened in the NHL was Bettman got to the owners of the richest teams, and they said, we're committed to this fight. Because they didn't need it.
No.
The Leafs didn't need it. Detroit didn't need it. The Rangers didn't need it.
No.
And Bettman sold them on, we got to think of Carolina and Arizona and Florida, and that's what we got to think of here. Yeah. And they all bought in. What'll be interesting is if that continues in baseball, right? Like, I think it's a good idea. Listen, they're making proposals. It's May. Right. They got a long season ahead of them, and it's going to go into the wintertime. But at the end of this statement, Glenn Kaplan, he's the MLB spokesman who issued this statement, said, you know, after talking about all these things that would exacerbate the issues, according to Major League Baseball, and again, I don't know where their polling is coming from.
Right.
Fans are saying we have a huge competitive imbalance issue. But he brings up the Dodgers. He says, quote, for example, under the union's proposal, the Dodgers would pay less in luxury tax payments, giving them an additional $70 million to spend on payroll, end quote. I find that interesting that they would they would use the Dodgers here as, like, that's your crown jewel. It's New York and LA are your 2 biggest markets. Ohtani's there. They've won back-to-back World Series because they've earned it. Their owners have said, we're going to invest in this. We're going to give the guy $1 billion because we want to, and we think it's going to be worth it for us, which it has been. That's interesting. Like, I'm curious how they would feel in LA about that. Like, why are you using us as the example?
Why isn't anybody picking on the Pirates and how garbage they've been and how little money they've spent and other people in Major League Baseball? We're fighting to just keep them afloat and keep them relevant. And it's like they've done a piss poor job. The owners even come out and said, yeah, we're just not spending. Like, that team's an embarrassment. They have been for a long time. Mm-hmm. So that's one side of it. It's like, why are we fighting for an organization that's just been piss poor and they don't want to put money into their team? But they got to have revenue sharing and an equal share, and you got to keep them afloat. It's like, okay.
But I took it as they're pointing out the gold standard, a team that spends all the money, and they would have more money to even spend. So I don't know if it's picking on or just pointing out, like, that's the team that has dominated the last how many years? 3-4 years?
Oh, yeah, more than that. Okay, I mean, they were in the World Series in 17.
So, and they will, through this system, they will figure out a way to even spend more money.
And it's understood that if they got those, additional dollars, they would invest them into the team. They wouldn't pocket them.
Exactly.
Which is what would happen in Pittsburgh.
Right.
What happened in Tampa, they'd be like, well, we'll just keep this money. We still would have cost $70 million. We're not giving it back to players.
Right.
Like,
I don't know enough about the
I understand. But there's also a history in baseball. The players, remember the reports of like Scherzer and other guys like getting in the face of Manfred as he was doing tours and being like, how dare, like, no chance, we'll see you. Yeah, but like, that's the thing.
Bryce Harper did it last year.
That's right. Harper was famously in his face and swearing at him and saying, no chance, like, let's go. Yeah. Because in 94, there was a push for it, and the players, they went on strike. They said, we're not doing it. We're out. And it cost the Blue Jays a chance at a three-peat. It cost the Expos a chance at winning a World Series that year. They were that good. So this Players Association, they're going to be up for the fight. Yeah. But the question will be, will the owners be up for it too? And if they both clash, how long does it go for? Yeah. And that's unfortunate ultimately for the fans. Yeah. In the end. That's right. Like that, because you're
coming back at it.
You're stuck. You got to bank on these two massive parties coming to terms.
I was a player rep in the last one, and I remember specifically, hearing people feedback saying, we don't care about millionaires and billionaires. We're not on a side. We don't care if the players get extra or the owners get extra. As a fan, you just want the product. They just want to be able to watch their favorite team and go and enjoy the product. And it was almost like, wake us up when it's over, because you guys are fighting over the piece of the pie that the fan pays into.
Right.
That's really what it was. So there wasn't a lot of sympathy for either side from the outside. I remember feeling that as a player and as a player rep for the Florida Panthers at the time. I sat down with the owner of the Panthers. He was Alan Cohen, I think his name was. I had dinner with him. Yeah. And I'd never played a game for the Florida Panthers. I was their player rep. They had I got a phone call going, we don't have a rep. You're rep.
You're up. So
I'm flying down there, meeting with this guy on behalf of the Florida Panthers. I'd never put the jersey on yet.
Crazy.
And we lost a season to it too. It was outrageous. That lockout was so avoidable.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming back to. I hope that this is avoidable. Smart people can get to the table and sort it out.
Well, and listen, the argument from the players will be, look at the Blue Jays last year. Now, they spent a lot of money, but they came out of nowhere and they were in a World Series. Look at Tampa this year. They don't spend any money. They're competitive all the time.
Yep.
There's been a lot of different winners. Like in the league of parity, we always talk about the NFL, parity this, parity that. In the AFC for the last 25 years, it's either been the Patriots or the Chiefs, basically, in the Super Bowl every year. But that's considered, there's so much parity there because they have a cap and all that. And it's like, not really. It's either Brady or Mahomes basically for 25 years almost.
Well, the NHL is a league of parity, and we have no idea at the start of the season who's going to win the Stanley Cup.
It changes all the time. Now, maybe was it a league of parity before? Maybe not. Like maybe Detroit spent a lot of money and they were very successful. Jersey didn't spend a ton, though, and they were successful.
I remember Glenn Sather's quote when he ran the Edmonton Oilers. Said, if I spent the money that the New York Rangers spent, we'd win a cup every year. Mm-hmm. He went there and started signing Bobby Hill for $10 million. He was walking around in a house coat with a cigar hanging out of his mouth. Feathers.
Not even they'd miss the playoffs all the time.
Yeah, there was a.
That was James Dolan too, man, and now Dolan's Knicks are in the NBA final.
Yeah,
everything's coming up next.
Full circle.
And listen, the Knicks and the Leafs comparison has been there for a long, long time, and that leads me to, I got a little positive list for you.
Give us this list here. I
got a little 5 reasons to be positive if you're a Leaf fan, because I get what's going on right now. It was a dreadful season. It was an awful year.
Yeah,
they were awful. And the last 2 months were incredibly tough. And then Matthews gets hurt.
That was a death march, that yes. Last 2 months. For
and
sure.
Now you've got the Habs playing incredibly well. That's your longest-standing rival.
Yeah.
And Mitch Marner, who left and couldn't get it done here, is getting it done in Vegas. And everything's about, Toronto this, Toronto that, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
All right? Here's your 5 reasons. Number 5 on the list. Goalie options. Your boy AA down with the Marlies, and the Marlies start that next series tonight.
Yeah, I spoke with the coaches
Akhtiamov, he's playing really well.
Yes.
Like he's got a real chance at a future with the Leafs.
I think he has, again, you've got Hildeby, you have Wool, you have Stolars. I think AA has surpassed Hildeby on the depth chart.
Okay.
Now, again, you've got 2 24-year-old goaltenders.
Wow.
Well, he's playing all the games, and I was at the game the other night. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was first star.
Right, and Hildeby's down there, and they're playing
right
Akhtiamov.
So they have depth in that position, but they've got decisions to make in that position. So there you go. That's a real positive light, AA.
Absolutely.
He's a great – I got to meet him after. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so you got him coming.
Yeah.
Wall and Stolars, I know the season they just had.
Yeah.
But you still got him. You got him on term. It kind of feels like if that's the case, maybe it's Hildeby that'll be dealt. But we'll see. Who knows? But you got options there in net. And goaltending, if you can get goaltending, it can ease a lot of pain.
Sure.
Like it's not going to be perfect because, again, you don't have the best goalies in the league here. And Hellebuck was on Winnipeg last year. It was dreadful. Shesterkin was in New York. It was dreadful.
Right.
Sorokin was unbelievable. The Islanders still missed the playoffs.
Right.
So having a great goaltender doesn't guarantee it. But you've got some options here, and AA in particular down with the Marlies. Number 4, I got Austin Matthews is still here. Okay, he's still here, and he still has the chance. He's going to bring you out of your seat from time to time. He's been in the league for 10 years. He still has a chance if they can find a way to win or have some success here. And I don't know when that's going to happen or what that's going to look like or if it will happen. But he's still chasing like GOAT status. For some people, he's got it. For me, I've always said you got to have playoff success for a team that's been around for 100 years. But right now, it's all like, Mitch Marner's doing this, and I'll bet you Austin's watching that and thinking, and he might be. He might be thinking, well, if I went somewhere else, maybe I could have that success. I hope what he's thinking is, if I stay here and these guys actually put a team together, it'll be way more important and way more significant in terms of legacy.
Right.
If you actually are victorious where it all started. If you don't pull LeBron and go to Miami.
Sure.
Right?
That's fair.
You don't pull a KD and go to Golden State.
I'll throw one more nugget on there. If he's healthy and can get back to the form that we've seen, nothing bad can come out of that.
Right.
Like, that's the one thing. Like, now.
Been 2 down years based on his standards.
Couple down, yes, his standards. Surgery or whatever, the knee injury. He's got some mileage. If he's a Ferrari, he might be a Ferrari with 120,000 kilometers on it. A lot like a lot of these players now that have 10 years into the league.
Yep.
But if he can regain the Austin Matthews that we've seen, nothing bad can come out of that. So there's a little nugget on top of that that I would positivity.
Oh,
Ryan,
go ahead.
What does he have to do this year to make that statement true? Like 5 positives for the Maple Leafs. One of them is Austin Matthews is still here. What does he have to do this season to kind of legitimize that statement that he's still a Maple Leaf, where somebody says, yeah, Hazy B was right on his list that Austin Matthews is still here? What does this season look like for that to be true?
Well, I think he's got to do what he's done better than anyone since he got into the league. He's got to be an elite goal scorer again. Like that is first and foremost. Hot start, goal scoring.
Yeah.
Like when he scored 69, when he scored 60, the guy, I think he had a hat trick his first game of both of those seasons or close to it.
Right.
10 games in, the guy had 12, 13 goals.
Yeah.
That's what he first and foremost do that. I think it doesn't matter nearly as much, clearly. Obviously, 95% of it is what he's going to do on the ice. But I think and I don't know if he's capable of doing this because it just doesn't seem like it's in his DNA or in his personality. But if he could play, the messaging game the right way, say the right things a couple times, that I think can ease the anxiety of a lot of people. And I'm not even saying, hey, I'm here for life. That's not my point. Just come in and say, I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm hearing what everyone's saying. And I wanted him to say this last year. He didn't. But we're going to be fine. And we're going to win here. And that's what's going to happen here. Be a leader and be a guy that shows up and chugs every single night.
So let me add one little nugget onto that, too. We should revisit William Nylander's comments yesterday because that's a positive thing. Regardless, nobody asked him or whatever, but for William Nylander to go on whatever it was, his YouTube channel or whatever, and just say, just so you guys know, I want to be here and I want to win in Toronto. That's a positive thing that we didn't really shine a light on, other than the fact that it was like, hey, why is Willie talking? But I think that's a good sign. So if you're talking about messaging, there's a guy that all the messaging is everywhere else. And Willie comes out, puts his hand up and says, if you guys are thinking about me, I'm here. And
he's got to have a better year next year, too.
But I think he was on pace to have a very good year.
Points-wise,
just because he goes into his... Just because he goes on his YouTube channel and says, don't worry, everybody, I still want to be a Maple Leaf. I could care less. I could care less about that stuff. Because if it's 1 week into the season and we're wondering if Willie's going to work and move his feet and do this and do that, and that stuff comes into question week after week like it did last year, or basically last year and every other year, as talented as the guy is, his approach, this is just his facts. This is not like a hot take or a debate. His approach is not exactly workmanlike. So if he doesn't kind of change the way he's doing things, along with put up points, then I don't care what he says. I really don't. Because trust me, every executive in the National Hockey League or scout is here. And you think those guys think that Willie's the greatest thing on earth? Or the way he approaches the game? Wrong. Like, it's not just me making it up or any of us or anybody. Like, great, you want to be in Toronto, but are you gonna play like a winner? Are you gonna play like a leader? Or are you going to play like a guy that just wants to get 35 goals and then go home and do your thing with your YouTube channel and say, I love being a Maple Leaf? Well, that's great, but nobody really cares.
Well,
play like a grown man. Play like a leader of the team.
I don't disagree with anything, but what I'm saying is it's nice if messaging is something that you could add on to, like you said, something out of maybe Austin's wheelhouse.
5% of the pie, but yes.
Then that's a positive thing. So you're right. Willie, it doesn't matter lip service. We've talked about it. You don't need the lip service if you don't back it up. But if the team looks different, if you got a different coach, different deployment, all of that, and you can surround these guys with different types of players and they have good seasons, and you add in that messaging, that's positive.
Well, and that's the point. And that's kind of where I'm going with Matthews, with an asterisk, if he's got the chip on his shoulder in particular.
Yeah.
Because, we've talked a lot about Matthews and, whether, how he feels, how they feel, how they should operate with him. All that kind of stuff that's a different story from what you're actually expected to do when you get on the ice.
Right.
Like, and when you get on the ice and you've got skin in the game, which you should, because you just got embarrassed last year as the leaders of a team that had the worst years of their careers.
Yeah.
And this goes for Willie, and it goes for Austin in particular. I'd like to believe, and I can't guarantee it, but I'd like to believe they show up at camp and say, let's go.
Yeah.
And that speaks to what you're talking about. Performances, ready to go, in shape, summer skates in mid-August, get into town early, and let's go and start building this thing back up. Number 3 on the list, new coach, new style. Like, that is a positive that, like, it's not a shot at Berube or Keefe or whatever, but they needed to flush whatever that was last year out.
Yes.
And breathe some new life into this thing. And the coach is the spokesman of the team. That's who you hear talk more than anybody else.
Yep.
Not the players, not the GM. Are you waving at me or are you waving at Bob McKenzie? Go ahead. I don't know what you're doing over there. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm waving at you because I have a question.
Yes. Go ahead,
Can
Jeffrey.
there be a new style, but a winning style? Because we saw their old style, the OG version of the Leafs. It was so cool and so fancy in the regular season. But come playoff time, they would get squashed by Florida, squashed by Tampa, squashed by Boston. So you tell me, Hazy B, with your little B-listing list, can they have a new style and a winning style? Tell me.
Well,
I think they can.
oh, there you go, Noodles. You go
just
ahead.
Let me jump in there, because
Noodles, go ahead. Tell me.
I
Tell
want
me.
to afford the new regime to structure a team that way. So again, I think you're going to go back to not a way like it was clear the way that Brad Treliving built his team. It was a lot like Craig Berube wanted to coach his team. They wanted heavier. They wanted dump and chase. They wanted to win off the forecheck. They wanted to win 2-1 and have a defensive style. 2 years ago, they relied a lot on their goaltending. If you have a new coach, new style, but you build the team to fit that style, it might look like 3 or 4 years ago where it was a skill, speed team. The league is skill and speed now. It's on display every night. Watch this Montreal team skate tonight. Mm-hmm. Watch Carolina and how hard they are and the details that they have. So if you do get a new coach and a new style and the manager builds it for that, then you're on to something. That's the only way I would defend that,
Yep.
Is again, it has to go hand in hand, the way you build this team, and then the style has to fit the players on that team.
Well, and listen, great coaching is worth a lot.
Yes.
Like it is tangible. It is very noticeable. Does it guarantee you the ultimate prize? No, it doesn't. But there's a reason John Cooper is who he is, and Bednar's been who he's been, and Tortorella what he's doing right now. And that's the point. Like, you've got to get a guy who's going to implement a style of play that is pretty much the opposite of what it was last year. It can't be completely, because they're going to have a lot of roster carryover.
Yes.
You know, like, you're still going to have a certain amount of guys who are going to play a certain way. But it didn't, the way they defended, the numbers in general, I believe coaching can change that. I do. Is it going to mean they're top 5 in the league in all those? No. But they were dead last in everything.
Yeah, a lot of the metrics.
Shots against,
it was
like high danger this, off the rush, off the cycle, in the slot. It was outrageous.
I think by the end
that's
of the year,
some of that is coaching.
Yeah.
Like, it's coaching.
Well, I think by the end of the year, some of that almost felt deliberate, because they wanted to get to that. You know, you got the first overall pick. I mean, it was the ball dropped your way. But you don't get that opportunity if you don't fall off a cliff like they did.
And they did.
I think it was.
But it was awful in October, November, December.
100%.
Too. It was awful the whole year.
I think we're judging it on what we saw the last 2 months as opposed to the whole. The season was very wildly inconsistent. But the last 2 months were so awful that people are just.
And listen, you know where I stand. We're in the entertainment business. It was not an entertaining style of play.
No,
and at a minimum, if I think a different coach can breathe some life into it and gets back to the Matthews standpoint as well. And the goalies, helping the goalies out, allowing them to pop.
Yeah.
Number 2 on this list, all right, positive reasons to be a Leaf fan. They have the first overall pick. Like, there are teams and fan bases that dream about that. Obviously, you want a Stanley Cup. Like, clearly Vegas wouldn't trade their experience for this
Slam
right
dunk.
now. But, exactly, if you're in Vancouver, if you're in Calgary, if you're Chicago, St. Louis, like there's a lot of fan bases that have not had a first overall pick ever, or certainly not in a long, long time.
The
and
Rangers
the Leafs
had a terrible season, and they didn't get. That's the thing.
Like, Calgary, have they ever had a first overall pick? I don't think so. Vancouver,
I don't believe
hasn't. So, you've got teams out there like St. Louis did when they took Eric Johnson. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of teams out there that have not had the first overall pick. And you talk about whether it's Gavin McKenna, Stenberg. I don't know who they're going to take.
Right.
But let's say it is McKenna. That's going to be uber exciting to watch him play.
Yeah.
Like, just to see him grow, to see what he can possibly turn into. So I've got the first overall pick at number 1, or number 2. And number 1, and this is a little bit hokey, but the payoff is going to be worth it if and when they actually win. And I know that's tough to embrace right now.
Yeah.
But when the Red Sox won in 2004, when the Cubs won in 2016, I remember watching those thinking, man, like the Red Sox won 86 years, I believe it was. The Cubs went 108 years or something. The Rangers went 54 when they won in 94.
Yeah.
And, it's such a big fan base. There's so many people that are waiting to pounce and goof on the Leafs whenever they get an opportunity.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of opportunity. There's just always an opportunity. But if you've been along for the ride, the downs have been down. There's been some dark days, to take a page out of Mitch Marner's book.
Yep.
But if and when it happens, the payoff, it'll be unlike anything else in the sport.
It's something I can't speak to as much.
Dude, it's crazy,
Go
man.
ahead,
I'm sorry, guys. It's crazy that you're saying, after the doom and gloom and how disappointing, you just went Jimmy Lewicki and you said the parade is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing comment, man. I'll tell you.
Do you think that's inaccurate, though? Like, what's the point of being a fan if you're just going to pull the chute when it gets ugly? Like, it's been ugly for forever.
You know how many 70-year-old fans come up to me, 70-year-old fans, and they're like, I'm going to croak without seeing a cup. Croak.
Exactly.
40-year-old, 50, 60, 70, they all say it. They're like, we all see the curses end in Boston, New York Rangers, all this stuff, the Chicago Cubs. And they don't get the sense that the curse in Toronto is going to
happen at some point. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I have
really?
no idea.
The first 4 of your list,
they're all actually pertaining to.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're
you
real.
Can buy into that right now. The number 1 on the list is just everybody's, thought process that are diehard Leaf fans.
That's all I'm saying.
So that one I kind of didn't identify with, as I identified with the 5-2. Mm-hmm. I thought those were outstanding. The first one,
thank you.
Number 1 is exactly what every fan base wants.
It's an intangible.
Yeah, it's an intangible.
Obviously, an intangible experience.
I thought from 5-2 was outstanding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Number
that.
1 is like, okay, well.
That's
number 1, you might be going into the Scotiabank Arena in a motorized golf cart with 2 canes. A motorized buggy.
Well,
yeah.
Listen, I had another list that I'm workshopping.
Okay.
And it's the Civil War topics that happen within the Leafs fan base that have existed forever.
Interesting.
Why is the rink so quiet? What's the worst trade of all time? Why didn't the core 4 win?
No, let's do that.
I know. I'm just saying. There's a lot of them, and I was going to go that direction.
That's a good list.
I want it.
All right, I want it
tomorrow. I want it tomorrow. I want to do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Positive Wednesday today.
I want it.
Wednesday today?
Yes, it's a Wednesday. All right, Frankie Corrado's
I don't care.
coming up.
I want to hear this dummies list. I want to hear this stupid list tomorrow because I'll take all day doing it, all day.
Yeah, I've got it. The Civil War topics that reside within Leafs Nation.
I like the positive list.
Yes,
I thought it was
always positive.
And there's a lot that's achievable on that list.
Yeah. And a roster with a chip on their shoulder is something that you'd like to believe will happen.
And top players being held.
First overall pick.
Here's the other thing. We'll get into it with Frankie. It's never more apparent. Your organization is screwed if your top players are hurt or not playing well. Ask Colorado.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Frankie's coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets coming up later in the hour. Game 4 between the Habs and the Canes tonight, and the Memorial Cup continuing. That Kitchener team, a wagon right now. Big game out there at the Mem Cup, and there's Frankie Corrado with a handshake with his main man, the O-Dog. Just
best buddies.
Two. He's Harry and Lloyd.
He's got a new nickname.
Yeah.
He's got a new nickname, boys. I'd like to welcome to the show Fairway Finder Frankie.
How are we, buddy? How we doing? You guys, there's all kinds of stuff happening over here. You guys have no idea what's happening behind the scenes. First of all, there was a transaction that happened at Okanagan Golf Club today where a certain someone walks in and says, this is the first question he's asked every pro shop since he's been here. Hey, you guys have any Peter Millar stuff?
Why not? Why not?
Get me a polo.
And
Get me
then
a
he
shirt.
goes to the guy, he goes, you got this one in like a baby blue, like a powder blue? He goes, no, but I can talk to the rep and maybe order it. He goes, order it, put the logo on it. I'll come pick it up tomorrow. He's doing custom orders
I love it.
at pro shops in Kelowna.
Just right in his element.
But it's
Bullying
got to
his
be
way
Peter
around.
Millar. They got beautiful stuff. They got beautiful stuff, and I like the Okanagan logo.
Yep.
So my guy,
Wardo.
Ward,
Wardo.
not Wade.
Ward.
Yeah,
Ward.
it's Ward.
Shout out
Ward is
to
going to
Ward.
get logoed, the Peter Millar hoodie.
I love it.
Yes.
Dude, I'm wearing a Peter Millar polo right now. It's the best in the game. There's nothing better than that.
I just want Frankie to defend himself because O was just throwing out golf scores.
96.
96 or 7 or something.
Laura
Like this.
Dykin absolutely woodshedded
Yeah.
Frankie the other day.
What's going on, Frankie?
Let me just say something about that whole transaction. First of all, Laura's a really good golfer.
Yes.
Right? Like, we play from the tips. Laura plays from the reds, and her ball is right there where ours is every time. Like, she stripes the ball, so she's a very good golfer. But he said I shot a 97. I shot an 83.
Yeah, I know. I forgot. I thought it was the different score.
Disappointing.
Listen,
I got
80
things
like
mixed up.
83 is
I
not a-
added wrong. I added wrong.
Okay.
By the way, like, it's just a frenetic. It's just a frenetic pace when you play with this guy, man.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's just no
I've
waiting or
experienced it.
anything, or like you hit one off the tee. And he's like, "Sounded good, bud. Where'd you go?" I'm like,
No idea.
Is it that bad, though? Like, am I that fast where it's, like, uncomfortable? Or?
I'm actually impressed by it. I'm impressed by how quick you can golf. Not everyone can do that. It's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's not rude. It's not like.
Not rude. It's not rude. No.
no. Every once in a while, maybe you could help someone look for their golf ball when it gets off the
Well,
track.
he's
but-
already, like, he jumps
Oh,
in his cart
well,
and he's
dude,
gone, right?
Dude, if you're wide right and you're in a fescue or something,
No, he
that
helps.
guy. Okay. All right.
He's gone.
Okay.
I could see.
Moving on.
This guy was a billy goat today. He was a billy goat.
Do we have a favorite at the Memorial Cup? Is it Kitchener versus the field? Where do we stand on this, Frankie?
Kitchener for now. And listen, it's a junior hockey, so things can change in a hurry, right? Like, it's just not as polished as the pro game. But as far as looking for a team that play like professionals, the Kitchener Rangers, that's what they are here. Like 12 NHL drafted players. Their coach really has them bought in. They got a lot of guys that are like mature for young players. Like, you think of these guys now, and the parents and the agents really drive the bus, and they got to have the highlight reels, and they got to have the big point totals. And Kitchener's got all these guys that just like, if I said to you, these guys are hockey players, like, you'd know exactly what I mean. Like, they care about certain other aspects of the game, and they're big on the back end. So, yeah, they would be the team to beat based on the way they've played so far.
There is a chance for a miracle story.
Always.
The Kelowna Rockets are one of those teams where if they win tonight, their fortunes completely change and they can find some magic. Do I think that's going to happen? I think it's unlikely, but that story is still available for a team that hadn't played in 5 weeks, hadn't had a good start. Like, there's all kinds of stories that can be written, but the most likely one is the Kitchener Rangers. I just don't see anybody taking them down. Their game, I think the ultimate, and you guys would agree, I would think, the biggest compliment you can give a hockey team is that you're built to deal with adversity, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like, they have some lapses in a game where it doesn't go their way. They're built to handle it. They know how to handle it. Their best players know how to deal with it and get through it. Goaltender makes a big save, big penalty kill. They're just They're pros, man.
Yeah,
I said it the other day. They're straight up winners, and they know how to do it.
They got guys that are going to be playing in the NHL very soon, like Sam O'Reilly's one of those guys. And I think their coach, we're probably not that far off having conversations about their coach potentially jumping in at the pro level
Why
or
not
NHL
this?
level.
UC, welcome to the Leafs.
Hey, you never know.
Hey, welcome.
Never know.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, right down King Street with the flow and the beard.
Flow and the
Yes.
beard, yeah.
Brass rail.
See, the only thing that I would say with that tournament, it comes down to one game. You have a goaltender that doesn't show up, and that's what happens.
Trouble.
That's one game take all type of thing is always
Like
as
at
you
the
guys
World
know.
Juniors.
And Everett's goalie didn't play very well the other night against Kitchener, and I think Everett's a really good team, and I maybe I'm wrong. I felt like Everett and Kitchener were the two teams that were going to collide in the final, but we'll see.
Love it. Let's get them into a final, and we'll see how it plays out. Gavin McKenna's coming up on TSN tonight. He was hoping to come on our show today. Didn't end up working out based on scheduling, but he will be there tonight. I asked O what he's hearing about it, and O said that that's not his job. He doesn't scout when he's out there. But what are you hearing on the first overall pick and Gavin McKenna, Frankie?
It's funny because in the second half of the year at Penn State, like his game really took off to another level. And if there was any questions about it around the World Juniors time, he really kind of took matters into his own hands and said, like, just watch this. And so he did his part as far as, what he could do within the game to affect where he was going to get drafted. But I think now we're seeing it here. Like, there's so many scouts and team management type people here. And I think they're really starting to dig into all the different conversations that you would have on all these guys and really kind of break it down in so many different ways that it feels like if you draft McKenna, you're not going to be wrong. If you want to draft one of those defensemen like Chase Reed, you might not be wrong. If you want it to be Stenberg, you might not be wrong right away. Like over time, we'll see how all these guys develop, but I think he definitely did everything he possibly could in that second half of the season to erase a lot of the doubt that there would have been. And like we also say that the guy had 2 points per game at the World Juniors. Like it's not like that's an easy thing to do, to just show up and light the world on fire like that. So he's an unbelievable talent, man. We saw him last year at the Memorial Cup. He was on a different level, and he found that level in the second half of the year at Penn State.
We should have asked Craig, guys, because we know what Toronto has done the last 10 years in the way it all got started when they drafted Marner, Nylander, Matthews. They brought in Tavares, and everything was based on skill. Like, do they ever think go outside the box? Is it like that draft where there was Shane Wright, Slavkovsky, Nemec, I think, was in there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there a defenseman that would get the Leafs' attention where they're like, maybe, just maybe, do they have enough belief that a defenseman could be their guy for the next 10 years? I don't know if there's a defenseman. I'll ask Craig in an hour when I see him.
Probably Chase Reed. Like that's the guy that people seem to think is the one that could push up for it. But I think the cautionary tale for that is that if you get the skill first, you can acquire the other stuff. And
well,
maybe
when's the last time they've acquired? Unfortunately, it wasn't you. I think you would agree with that.
I get it.
Getting that number one Cale Makar defenseman, you're not trading for it.
I'm more talking about like the forward point of view. Like if you were doing McKenna versus Stenberg, you would be like the one. I go way back, and you're talking about Nylander. Vancouver drafted Jake Virtanen before William Nylander, and you're like, why would you do that? Why leave all that skill on the table? You'll find a guy to go crash some bodies for you. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's a conversation they're going to have as well.
All right, Frankie, tell me I'm wrong. Dobish stands on his head tonight and the Habs win Game 4. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong about that. It could happen. Like he's been standing on his head a ton in the playoffs. Why would we discount it now? And I think Montreal, despite the way it's looked, like clearly it has been tilted in Carolina's favor quite significantly. They're still hanging around. Like they still have opportunities to win these games. It's like a one-shot thing that could go either way. So that's a credit to them. It's not an easy thing to do. Like those games can get away from you in a hurry, and it hasn't. And if the margin is that close, it's one extra Dobish save away from potentially winning these games. The guy's been doing it for so long now. It's not just in the playoffs. It's going back to January essentially. So I wouldn't count it out by any means.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, Freddie might have a night where he's not there. I think Montreal. I mean, it's the most obvious statement. This is the swing game, 3-1 or 2-2. Carolina wins tonight, series is over. If Montreal wins tonight, we have a series, and that's Montreal has to find a way to get to Freddie Anderson and get shots on him and chances because they haven't done that the last 2 games. They haven't had a lead since game 1, so that's something they've got to do, guys.
I'm with you there.
And Jamie, and you know, it's hard to play against Carolina. There's no doubt about it. You're always uncomfortable. You're under pressure. You go back, you break out pucks. It always feels like there's someone breathing down your neck. It's also hard for Carolina to play like Carolina. And if they don't do that at a high level, then they open themselves up because all of a sudden there's these little odd man rushes and little pockets of ice that become available if they're not, you know, on their toes, playing the way that they can play. So as much as it's hard to play against them, it's hard to play like them, and that could be a way that Montreal gets their footing in a game as well.
Okay. Love it. Well, enjoy the game tonight. We got Everett taking on Kelowna. Battle of the Western Hockey League. This is a big one for you tonight, Noodles.
Love it.
Big one for you. So enjoy that, and go ahead. What do you have for us, So? Go ahead.
Tell them about the chisel and sizzle on the TaylorMade MG5. Tell them.
Dude, there's crazy stuff happening on the greens here. We call it tour sauce, and there's a celebration that's not for air.
Okay, I like it. I think I got an idea of what that looks like.
Dude.
Those MG5s are outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Same thing happening in Ontario right now. Beautiful thing. All right, Frankie, have a great call tonight. Thank you for doing this.
Hey, boys.
There's Frankie Corrado. All right, best bets coming up. And we got game 4 tonight. Big one at the Bell Center. Yeah. We'll get to that as well. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live. All right, best bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And going back to the well one last time. Habs playing plus money tonight.
You got them winning tonight?
Listen, I've been pumping their tires a lot.
Yep.
And I've been suggesting I think they can win. Yeah. I know it has been the last 2 games. They've lost in overtime, but
yeah.
You know, they've had 25 shots in 2 games, and both of them went to overtime. That's just outrageous statistics.
They need a big night tonight.
But it's a must-win.
For sure.
Like, it's simply a must-win tonight.
Sure. Yep.
And I think Dobish has a night.
Yeah.
See what Freddie's got. And I think if they score first tonight, then you can get the ball rolling. Best bets powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays available for every Stanley Cup playoff game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. 18+, physically located in Ontario. So Jays with a win today, off tomorrow, then in Baltimore. Then they head through Atlanta. Braves have been really good this year. And we've got Game 6 in the NBA Finals coming up, I believe, tomorrow night down in San Antonio. As the Knicks are sitting pretty waiting.
Yeah.
I saw a report or a tweet about what someone has paid for courtside seats to the Garden.
Really?
I think it was like
insane,
like $300,000 or something for a pair of tickets.
Wow.
Like
that actually. And what if the game's a dog too?
I mean, there's so much money in New York. It's crazy.
I know.
Like, there's literally more money there than anywhere else on earth. And it's the Knicks, and like the Knicks in basketball means so much in New York. But like, that is, could you imagine putting your Amex Black down and saying, just throw that on my card? $287,000 or something for a pair of tickets.
Wow. Well, it better be worth it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You hope it's a good game and they don't win or lose by 40.
Yeah.
Like we saw the other night. That was embarrassing.
Yes. Yes. If you're in Cleveland for that game, that's terrible. I mean, Taylor Swift was there for one of them. Maybe it was game 3 she was there. I think she probably told Kelsey, we're not going back for that garbage.
Exactly.
Like, I'll give you game 3 if they win. They're back in the series. We're not going. We're not sticking around in Cleveland.
How funny would that have been if the beard was spotted at the Vegas game last night?
I had my eyes peeled. I'm like, where is that guy? Walking through the rink trying to get to the strip.
Yeah, just done.
Yeah, he's had enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see what the Habs have in store. Big game at the Memorial Cup tonight too on TSN.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. And Gavin McKenna will be a part of the telecast this evening. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say. And we'll take it from there.
Tomorrow, lots to talk about tomorrow, I'm telling you.
Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. All right, boys. Thanks to everyone from behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Don't forget, you can find the show. You can stream the show on Crave.
Yes.
Yesterday's show already up on Crave. I watched it this morning.
I was watching
beautiful.
Last night.
It's a beautiful watch. You can find us up on Crave. So, again, thanks to everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, up on YouTube Live, up on Crave.
Yeah.
We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
Ernie Clement, it was great texting with you today. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.